Hello, friends, and welcome. This is the LarthMedia podcast, episode 001, the Phantom Larth, if you will. My name is Lathan Murray Stewart Minnick. This is my podcast. Larth is a name I was given a long time ago, but we'll get more into that later. For right now, let's do a quick plug, if you will, of the. If you want to email me, you can email me at larthmedia@gmail.com. Any social media following, it's all LarthMedia, LARTH Media, MEDIA. I have the camera set up right there. I was debating how to do it. I don't want to do it where I'm looking right at it the whole time. I'm going to look at it from time to time, but most of the time I'm just going to I'm just going to talk and put my eyes wherever. See, there it was. There it was. Um, Good start. What is Larth Media? Well, let's talk about the etymology of the name Larth. I don't even remember who gave me that name. I know it was one of my friends. Actually, I have two finalists, as it were, of who I think gave me that name. But anyway, my name is Lathan, so, short for Lathan. People call me Lath. One friend gave me gave me the name Larth, which I guess is kind of a it's kind of a funny nickname and not really a funny laughing with me, funny laughing at me kind of name. And at some point I have to agree it sounds funny. But this is me taking that and turning it into something, whatever this becomes. That's all that matters. The name might sound funny to some, but it's a question of what I do with that name and what I do with this podcast and what I do with the brand. That's really going to matter in the long run. Did I mention the email? I've already forgotten if I mentioned. That was supposed to be the first thing I mentioned. I believe I mentioned the email is larthmedia@gmail.com, and all social media links are LarthMedia. What is this podcast going to be about? Excuse me. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really fucking nervous. But here I am. I'm doing it. God help me. I'm going to upload it. And I'm just going to have to learn as I go. Jump off the cliff and learn to fly on the way down, as I've heard said once. Again, what is the podcast going to be about? It's going to be about me. For now, my story, things I've gone through, the path I've walked to come to this point right now in my life. Aside from that, whatever. Like I said, it will grow and evolve as time goes on, as I realize what I want it to be, what demand I might get from viewers and listeners as far as what they want to hear. But for now, it's just me telling my story, talking about things that I'm into. That could be a big part of it. I'm really big into movies, video games, some more so into film at this point in my life. I'm a sci-fi nerd. I'm a middle-aged sci-fi nerd. There's a few of us out there. So movies, comic book movies, TV shows, what have you. Did I mention I'm nervous? Anyway, a little bit about me. I was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana on February 23rd, 1978. It's just threw my birthday out there if anybody wants to. Anyway, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm looking right there. I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm sure it's showing up on the camera. I have my notes right there of what to talk about. And this is me talking about it. Yeah, born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Spent my first couple years there. I spent a few years in Los Angeles after moving from Indiana, and then I moved to Molokai around the age of 5. So yeah, I've been in Hawaii since about 5 years old. And for anyone who wants to do the math, that's 38 years so far. So yeah, Molokai until I was about my teens, about 12 or 13. I moved to the Big Island. So I spent most of my childhood, if you call it, on Molokai, and then my teen years on the Big Island. I lived on the Big Island for about, I guess, about 10 years. I moved to Oahu when I was 23. Jeez, has it been that? Yeah, it's been that long. Oh my God, I'm getting old. Yeah, so I've been in Hawaii for 38 years. I've been on Oahu for, Jesus, almost 20 years now. Yeesh. So yeah, that's about all. As far as my job right now, I'm not gonna go into details. I mean, I'm sure if you look it up, you can find it. But I work in security in a luxury condo. That's all I'm gonna say for now. So one of the things I wanted to talk about on this podcast, and one of the things I'm most afraid to talk about, is mental illness. I've had mental health issues for a long time. I'm far more comfortable talking about it now than I ever was. Of course, it's one thing to talk about it to, this person or that person. It's another thing to record it on a podcast and put it on YouTube. And of course, anywhere podcasts are listened to. One of the reasons for that, I've been listening to podcasts for I don't know how long, off and on. I don't listen to them as much now, but if I'm going to be doing one, I'll probably be listening to them a lot more, just to listen to what else is out there. I'm getting off topic here. One of the podcasts I used to listen to is called the Mental Illness Happy Hour. And I haven't listened to it in years. Like I said, I haven't listened to much podcasts lately. But that podcast is, what's his name? His last name is Gilmartin. I can't remember. I think it's Paul. I think it's Paul Gilmartin. He's like a comedian, actor. The reason why I bring up that podcast is because it was very, I want to say important. It was very, I would say, instrumental to bringing me here, because dealing with mental health issues, I mean, it's getting better and better. People are starting to recognize it and not look at it with such judgment. We all got issues at some point. But speaking about the mental health, the mental illness happy hour podcast, I would hear the stories of, whoever he had on. And most of them were like actors and comedians and people, he knew in his industry. And it's nice to hear that you're not alone. And that's what I would say to anyone dealing with issues who think they might need to get help or something. And because back in those days, I did feel alone. I was not comfortable talking about it. So obviously, if I wasn't comfortable talking about it, I wouldn't reach out to anyone. So of course I was alone. It was a self-imposed isolation, if you will. Excuse me. Um. So yeah, that was kind of big for me. I mean, there's been a lot of podcasts over the years. I don't know if I want to go through them all right now. I mean, Joe Rogan Experience, I mean, is probably the biggest one out there right now. I don't know. I don't know the numbers. Obviously, he just took $100 million Spotify deal, and God bless him. Um, the thing about that is I used to really enjoy watching and listening to his podcast, but I would do it, on my phone, on my TV, on YouTube, because you can watch it and listen to it at the same time, which I enjoy doing. Now that he's on Spotify, I haven't checked in a minute, but last time I checked, you can't watch video on Spotify on the TV. I believe you can do it on. I did it on my phone. I haven't tried it on my iPad. Um, but yeah, I don't know if he. I'm sure he lost viewers, lost listeners because of that. But I'm sure he'll be fine. That podcast is so popular, and for good reason. Um, he has on a lot of interesting guests. Everything that's happening right now in the world. I'm sure there's a bunch of hot button issues, if you will, that they talk about. Um, anyway, I'm rambling a little bit here. However, I think that's kind of the point of a free form podcast, is just to talk. Um, I distinctly recall, like, someone, I don't know what podcast it was, where they said they record themselves and they never realized how much they said and I think it's it's like this camera shyness, or microphone shyness, if you will, where I want to feel the dead air, if you will. So say so let me go into the possibly the most difficult part. My mental health diagnosis. Again, this is one of the more difficult things to talk about. I'll mention who my psychiatrist slash therapist is. His name is Wailua Brandman. He practices in Honolulu. Of course, everything is distance now, so we don't meet in his office. We meet over video. Um, yes, Wailua Brandman. He has a book on Amazon. The name of it is, I should have this ready. Misery or Happiness, It's all about energy. It can be found on Amazon. I'm not getting a commission from him yet. We'll probably talk to him about that. There goes with that again. So yeah, you can check out his book if you want. Some people might enjoy it. Some people might think it's complete nonsense. I don't know if I don't know what you would call him, spiritual leader, guru. But for those who have listened or have heard of Eckhart Tolle, he says kind of the same thing in his book. I forget which. I think it's A New Earth. He has a couple books. One of them is A New Earth, where he says, like, you'll read these words and either they'll awaken something in your mind or they'll mean absolutely nothing to you. And that's probably what I would say about Wailua's book as well. There it goes. How's the audio, by the way? I fussed over the audio for the longest time. I don't want to mention it. I'm going to mention it. So I live in McCully in Honolulu, and like King Street is like not that far that way. Like there's like a row of buildings right there, and then there's King Street. So every so often, there's probably going to be some kind of traffic noise, and I probably shouldn't have mentioned it because then it'll probably come. But yeah, I fussed over the audio for the longest time on this thing. I like I unplugged my fridge, my AC is off, my fans are off. I'm pretty sure you can still hear my PC just barely. And as I mentioned, the traffic noise, there goes something. Um, um, um. So yeah, I don't. Let me. Like I mentioned, I'm getting into film. There's another thing I want to mention. I've gotten really into film in my, some would say my old age, in my middle age. I am thinking about going to film school. Uh, yeah, I I don't know what else to say about that. I want to say that I'm taking steps. I took one step. I sent a message to ACM Manoa. They never got back to me. Of course, if I really wanted it, I would be pursuing them more. Of course, I don't know what the situation is with COVID and everything, how the schooling works. And I want to grab my phone because I'm fidgeting. So yeah, film school. Yeah, where I was going with that is like movies. Movies is one of the things I'm probably going to talk about on this podcast because I love film so much. As I was, as I've been planning this, I've been thinking about making a podcast for like fucking 10 years now. That's how long I've been thinking about it. And it gets to the point where stop thinking, stop doing. Don't talk about it, be about it. Um, and here I am recording it. Of course, me recording it doesn't matter that much if I don't put it out. So we'll see. I'm on vacation right now from my job. I took 10 days off, and it wasn't expressly to record the podcast. It was just I needed the time off. I had, vacation time to use up. I got some health issues and other things that I need to attend to. But today, it's still September 30th. It's right now 11:55 p.m. on September 30th, the last day of my vacation. I return to work tomorrow. I told myself that I would do this on my vacation, and I kept putting it off. And the reason being, because I'm fucking scared. So, in true Lathan fashion, I put it off to the very last fucking second. So, as it is, I'm recording it. I started it on September 30th, but the way things are looking, I'm not going to finish it till October 1st, this episode anyway. But here I am. I want to say, I keep want to say I finally did it. I'm doing it. However, there's this whole other part about actually putting it out. So we'll see how far that goes. I'm optimistic though, because I'm just done. I'm done waiting. And one thing I want to say is that, I mean, if you have a plan, a goal, dream, whatever, I don't know if this is my dream. I got bigger dreams. We'll get into that later. But something like anything you want to do for yourself, and we all have jobs and other things we need to do to pay bills and what have you. So all this time that I wanted to do this and I didn't do it, I mean, I got discouraged. I got, down on it and all of this. I never gave up on it. it was just in there in the back of my head, and it wouldn't go away. Like I wouldn't accept the idea of letting this idea go. I just wouldn't. No matter how many times. I mean, okay, I got a LarthMedia T-shirt right here. Uh, if there's any orders or anything, just let me know. Send me an email, larthmedia@gmail.com. Not currently for sale yet. I don't even have a distributor or supplier. Anyway, about the T-shirt, I've had this T-shirt for I don't even know how long. I've had it for fucking years. I want to say at least like 3 to 4 years. And other things. I have a website up. I think it's up. I haven't checked. LarthMedia.com. Having said that, it's nothing. It's WordPress default. Welcome to, I don't know. I forget what it says. I think it says like hello there or hello world is the first post. There goes that again. Anyway, the point is I kept pushing myself. I kept telling myself it's a thing. I would name everything Larth Media, not only the social media accounts. Like I would put my name Larth Media like on the computer at work or here or there. And it got to the point where I realized I'm trying to convince everyone else that this is a thing. And I need to focus on convincing myself that it's a thing, that it's a real thing that I'm going to do, that is going to happen. So I'm just going to cut all those ums out. Yeah, don't worry about that. It might be a little weird on the audio. On the video, it's going to be like all these jump cuts. So yeah, don't give up. Whatever it is, even if even if you don't have the time for it, you got a job, you got a family, whatever it is, just hold on to it in here and in here. Just don't give up on it. That's my advice. Because if it's something that sticks with you like that, it's probably something not only you want to do, it's probably something you're meant to do. And that's where I am in my life right now. See, I want to say maybe I should wind it up. Well, regardless, I'm not going to be done before October 1st. See, I want to. Okay, I'm watching. You know what? No, I'm going to end it right there. I don't know how long I've been recording, but I think that's enough for now. It's probably only like 20 minutes or so. Yep, October 1st, 100 hours. So I guess that's it for now. I feel better. I'm still a bit nerve-wracked. I'm freaking warm. I have to figure out. There's a lot I got to figure out. I have to figure out how I can be in as quiet a space as possible as something just drove by. I think it was a motorcycle. I need to be as quiet as I have to make this apartment as quiet as possible. At the same time, I have to make it comfortable for me. So I can't. I mean, it's summer right now in Honolulu. I can't record in the middle of the day and have all the windows closed and no AC. It's gonna be the sauna cast. I have to be okay. I feel so awkward in these little moments where I'm kind of between thoughts. I have to be okay with this and just kind of sit with it because it's okay. So yeah, got a little frustrated with the setup and the audio and everything. Basically, I just gotta do it. This is what I have at my disposal right now, and for the most part, it's not bad. I need to figure out how we can get the sound better. I can't wait to listen to this and hear every little, whatever, everything I do and traffic noise and what have you. Having said that, just put it out. I I don't want to dig on anybody. I mean, it's 2021. There's so much content being put out by people, and people who clearly aren't as like obsessive about it as I am, worrying about every little thing. Of course, I think in the long run that means I'm going to have everything tight and professional at some point. We'll get there. So yeah, I think I'm going to wind it up. I'm proud of myself and I'm fucking disappointed at the same time. But as Wailua Brandman would say in his book, I was almost going to say it backwards. Choose love, not fear. Okay, someone just started their car. I guess that's my cue. Anyway, thank you for watching, listening, whatevering, watching and or listening. This has been the LarthMedia Podcast, episode 001, The Phantom Larth. I don't know what else to say. I guess I'm going to close by saying, if you have any questions, suggestions, if you want to give me some advice on how to deal with traffic noise while recording a podcast, I'm sure there's ways you can edit the audio and all of that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I'm going to put in the time to learning how to do that. Depending how this comes out, I might. I was going to say probably might. What does that mean? Probably might. So yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, you can contact me at larthmedia@gmail.com. Social media, reach out to me at LarthMedia. I do have a Facebook fan page, facebook.com/LarthMedia. Everything else is LarthMedia. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, which I barely used. I have a TikTok. I haven't touched it in months. I'm probably going to get it back going. Install the app and get back on there just to have the presence. I feel so awkward. I don't know how to close. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for watching. That's when Watch and Listen had a baby. It was named Watching. When Watching and Listening had a baby, it was named Watching. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. LarthMedia Podcast, episode 001, The Phantom Larth, is in the can, as they say in the film industry. Cut.